Hello everyone and welcome to the the review of The Beginning After the End's brand new anime adaptation. This series had the hype levels through the roof, fans touted it as the next Solo Leveling, expecting jaw-dropping action in a blockbuster budget. I mean, why wouldn't we? The original manhwa and the novel by Turtleme has a following and a rich story. We waited years imagining that the anime that would do it justice. Cue the dramatic drumroll, and then first 3 episodes dropped and gave us a loving slap in the face. The result? A spectacularly underwhelming adaptation that has gone over with fans about as well as a lead balloon. In just a few episodes, this anime went from one of the most anticipated isekai of 2025 to the butt of every joke on every anime forum. High expectations met with low effort, and the collision was not pretty. Today, in true sarcastic fashion, we'll break down exactly how this adaptation managed to fumble the bag so badly. First off, let's talk about how the anime compares to the beloved manhwa. One would hope that the adaptation would stay faithful at least to the source's story and tone. To be fair, the show's outline does follow the same reincarnation premise, King Grey reborn as baby Arthur Lewin in a magical world, that part's intact. However, being technically faithful in events isn't the same as capturing the spirit of the source material. The manhwa delivers intricate world building, intense training arcs, and emotional beats with style. The anime, well, it delivers something, just not those things. For instance, the adaptation team made some baffling choices. They actually added extra scenes in the anime's opening that were never there in the manhwa, seemingly to pad out some runtime, yet they rushed through or skipped important details like Arthur's forming his mana core, a crucial moment for understanding his powers. This means the anime-only viewers are left confused about how magic works, while the manhwa readers are face-palming because the cool world-building lore got glossed over. The tone also suffers. The webcomic had a balanced mix of serious epic moments and character humor, whereas the anime's tone just feels off. It's like they accidentally diluted the story's heart when transferring it over to the screen. Alright, here's the big one, the animation quality, or as some of you would say it, the lack thereof. If you've heard the chatter online, you'll know that this is where the adaptation truly earned its infamy. How bad could it be, you ask? Well, imagine taking a vibrant, action-packed manhwa and adapting it to a PowerPoint presentation. I'm only half joking. Fans literally compared the fight scenes to a PowerPoint slideshow. One viral comment said that the anime appears to have been made in Microsoft Office. That's how bad it is. Like watching a slideshow. And you know what? They aren't even wrong at all. As a matter of fact, one specific fan took it upon themselves to say that they could literally animate Arthur's awakening in 1 hour. And you know what? They actually recorded themselves doing it, and the end result was pretty spot on. Viewers have plastered the internet with terms like PNG Fest and visual novel to describe the static the visuals are. Translation, there are long stretches of minimal movement where you might as well be staring at still images with mouth flaps. In what should be the dynamic fight sequences, sword clash with all of the kinetic energy of a PowerPoint clip transition. Punches land with zero impact because apparently animating follow-through or recoil was too much work. The animation is so stiff and jerky that even dialogue scenes feel uncanny. Characters talk with lifeless expressions and the emotional range of a cardboard cutout. Now let's talk about the production values, or the apparent $5 per episode that this cost to make, because the studio behind this is Studio ACAD, not exactly a household name and certainly not with the resources of Ufotable or MAPPA. Going in, savvy fans were already nervous because ACAD has a track record of stinkers. Still, we hoped for a miracle. Instead, we got the animation so subpar that even basic movements look awkward. But that's not the worst of it all. It's the fact that Studio ACAD hasn't even done anything because fans took the end credits apart and noticed the episodes were actually being outsourced to a different studio, meaning the Studio ACAD was handpicked and hasn't even done any work regarding teaming. To add insult to injury, episode 2 even threw some CGI monsters because apparently the 2D animation wasn't contentious enough. Let's toss in some clunky CGI. The moment fans saw the teaser of a CGI beast, the smiling monster, they just collectively went, oh no. Even prior to the full appearance, people predicted they would ignite another war on the internet. And oh my god, was it a horrendous shitstorm when episode 3 came out with a copy-paste CGI looking demon that were supposed to be Sylvia and Cadell. It was mediocre to say the least. Now you might wonder, even if the animation is awful, does this story at least shine through? After all, The Beginning After the End has a great plot and source material. Unfortunately, the anime's pacing and storytelling managed to annoy people at almost as much as the visuals. It's quite a feat. 3 episodes in and the pacing is somehow both too slow and too rushed, depending on how you look at it. Here's what I mean. The original manhwa is a bit of a slow burn itself. It takes its time to establish Arthur's childhood, the world, the power system. Fans love it because it's thorough, but it can feel a little leisurely. The anime clearly didn't know how to handle this. On one hand, episode 1 drags his feet through about 5 chapters of content, which isn't terribly fast. It patiently shows Arthur as a baby, discovering mana, etc. That sounds fine, right? But due to the dull presentation, it felt interminable. Viewers reported being bored out of their minds, saying the premiere doesn't hit the spot in any way. It even gave off a cheap Mushoku Tensei minus the ecchi part vibes. Basically the Wish version of a story we've already seen before and done better. Yet paradoxically, even while slogging through scenes, the anime failed to flesh out important context. Remember how they skipped properly explaining the mana core? They also trimmed down bits of Arthur's internal monologue and world building that made the manhwa engaging. The result is that new viewers aren't even given enough reason to care about Arthur's inner struggle or this world's rules, making the story come off as just another cookie-cutter isekai. Perhaps the wildest development, some die-hard fans were so appalled that they actually started a petition to cancel and remake the anime from scratch. And this is just 3 episodes in. I'm not kidding. A change.org petition titled "Demand the Cancellation and Redo of the Tibet Anime Adaptation" racked up tens of thousands of signatures in just days. After only 2 episodes had aired, it had about 7,000 signatures. After a bit more time, it ballooned to 42,000 angry fans. To wrap it all up, The Beginning After the End has ironically brought about the end of many fans' hopes for a great adaptation. What was supposed to be a glorious animation debuted for a beloved series turned into a cautionary tale. In just 3 episodes, we've learned how a combination of high expectations, questionable studio choices, poor animation, and sloppy storytelling can unite the internet in an uproar. This anime was meant to ride the wave of successful manhwa adaptations, but instead it nosedived off a cliff. As one article put it, a story that had it all: dedicated fan base, engrossing plot, interesting protagonist, was utterly sabotaged by subpar execution, becoming one of the greatest recent disappointments in anime history. Thank you for joining me on this sarcastic autopsy of The Beginning After the End's anime adaptation. If you're one of the disappointed fans, you have my condolences, and hey, at least we still have the manhwa.